Hello and welcome everyone here to another live stream here on Mikey's Flightdeck. We have already some comments here in the chat. Edeka Kuchen, hello. Tony Dog Station, hello. Nice to have you here. Yes, let's see who else will come and join us in this live stream session here. Toby118, good evening. Yeah, the new green screen setup. I will have some comments about this later. Andreas Haug, hello. Oh, 737 Max Project, good evening. So, what can I say? 4 years of Mikey's Flightdeck now. It has been the January the 20th in 2017 when when my first video went online, the sidewall. And yeah, I don't know if I already knew then that I will need so much time. You always need much time to build a home cockpit, but that I can keep up bringing online content the weeks and all the years. I'm very happy that I have made it up to this moment here. So, hey G, good to have you here. Gideon Stottrop, I hope I pronounce this right. Oh, and I can come to my first topic here. This evening, by the way, when you have questions, just bring them down in the chat. I will answer them from time to time, and we can go into other topics if you want to give me any comments to a special question. So I have written down some topics I want to discuss this evening here. What a name. Götzi Ushanai, hello. Good evening to Turkey. So, when I started this channel, and I think especially this cockpit project, I think when someone asks me why are you doing this and how has this all started, then I think this is a common reason for the most of you too. You are building a cockpit at home. I just want to have a home cockpit. I'm flying the flight simulator with my joystick or maybe even a special yoke, but that's not enough. And I want to have a cockpit. I want to have the feeling for the switches when I use them. I don't want to look inside my virtual cockpit for a special annunciator. I just want to see it maybe from, what is this called, this point of view where in the side there is a light on and I see this with one eye. This is something you only can get when you have a home cockpit and a real physical home cockpit. Virtual reality is something that is coming, but I don't think that it can replace the feeling of sitting in a real hardware cockpit. So that was the reason why I started this build. But why do I start this channel? There are two reasons. And one of the reasons was maybe this project can finance itself. Guys, it's all about money. And right now I'm at a point where I don't make any profit of this channel here, but many of the buys I'm doing when I buy material, a tool or something like this can be financed by this project. Not because of the clicks on YouTube, that's not much, but because I'm selling these plans that I'm making. And to every one of you who have already bought an entrance to my member section on my website, thank you. You are supporting this project. And I'm holding this entrance fee very low because I know that you don't have everything on the start when you are buying an account for my website. And everyone who invests has also the risks that I'm stopping this project and there don't come any more plans. And so this is a mixture of a little bit risk and a form of kickstarting a project. So maybe this will change in the future, and I think the price will change in the future, because then when people are entering later where many plans are already there, then I think it's fair to ask for a little bit higher price than for those who have started when there only were plans for a glass shield and the MIP. So this is one thing, the financial thing. And the other thing is that when you are starting to inform yourself about how to make a cockpit, then you are coming to these videos on YouTube, 1 minute, half a minute. And for example, you want to know how to connect a switch, a hardware switch, to ProSim or to MobiFlight or just to the simulator. And you come across these these short videos where a hand comes into the screen and uses a switch. Then the camera turns around onto the monitor and you see the switch in the cockpit has also changed. That's it. Okay, good done, well done. But how have you done this? And this question is never answered. You should make this joke and watch some of these videos, and when you look down in the comment section, there are these questions. How have you done it? But they are never answered. And this is the other reason why I have started this channel. I want to show the people what they want to know. The first question that comes out, how is this done? And I'm showing this without the need that anyone has to ask for it. Okay, there are other questions than specialized questions, which I haven't covered in a video, and then we can discuss this in the comment section. So, but this is the second reason why I started this channel. Let's have a look into the chat a little bit here again. Ooh. Hosin Belkacem, I think it's called like this. Hello, good evening. So Tony Dog Station, there a question. Can I ask, I'm in a position where I can only buy one of the following: a 3D printer, a home-built CNC, or a laser cutter engraver. Which one would you say is the best to start with? This is something really like a question I will, a topic I have written down and which I will answer later. Yes, which one would you say is the best to start with? There is the question, what are you planning to start with? Do you want to start building the shell of your cockpit? Then I would say nothing of them would help you. You need a saw, a good saw, maybe a table saw, a miter saw, or something like this. Do you want to start building panels? That's or do you want to? Yeah, I think this is starting making panels or the woodworking stuff. No, but you see, there is a difference. When you want to start building panels, for example, this is it's difficult. When you only can buy one, then I would say it's a 3D printer. Because there are things you can also do by hand. I will be starting with panels, knobs, and electronic. Yes, okay. Yes, then a 3D printer, because you can't, I wouldn't do panels with a 3D printer. The panel surface. There are people making this. You can do this, but I don't really like the finish of the surface of a filament printer. for doing panels. You can fill them, sand them, yes, okay, then you can come out with a good surface, but then you have the problem of backlighting, and yeah, I don't think this is a way one should do it. For knobs, a 3D printer is really good, and knobs is something you can't do on a CNC. I have seen videos, they are making these Boeing Type 1 knobs from wood with a CNC, really cool, but there are limitations in doing this. So with a 3D printer, you could do everything you can't do with a laser or CNC. The knobs and all these fine things then. And the panel you could do from acrylic, cut it by hand, sand it down. Yeah, and use a transparent acrylic, and you just place a sticker on it. So then you don't have an engraved panel, but you can cover it with a sticker that holds back the light, and then you can already backlight it. So, and you have all the complicated things, the knob made by the 3D printer, and so you can make your panels. And when you then have more money, I think then maybe a laser can be the choice. A CNC is also good. Maybe I would, because I'm also in this woodworking area, I would prefer the CNC. It's for panel making a little bit slower, but there is nothing you can't do that a laser can only do. Maybe you are limited by the size of some parts you can do. Very small parts can't be done on a CNC really good. Yes, but this should answer the question. Oh, Andreas Haug has answered. Would go for a CNC machine. You can upgrade it as a laser engraver as well. 3D printer is nice to have, but most parts you can buy and it's not worth the time to print them. That's another thing. Yes, another thing you should take into consideration. How much do you want to build? When you want to make only one panel, for example an MCP only, then buy these knobs. It's what Andreas said, it's not worth the time and money. For me, that wasn't a question, because I want to build the whole cockpit, and maybe, this is again another topic for today, and maybe in the future I can sell some accessories for building cockpits, and then I could produce these parts. And then I wanted to make them by myself. Yes, but for small numbers of parts, buy them. Yeah. No. So, Oliver Daniel, hello. So, what has Tony written? I agree with you about the finish and the backlight. I was thinking about prototyping with a 3D printer and then eventually using the 3D printer to do MP CNC later. MP CNC, for all those who aren't in the CNC topic, is a mostly printed CNC. It's 3D printed parts connected by these water tubes, these metal tubes you use for water, and put them together, and then you have a scalable frame that you can use to hang in a router, and then you have a CNC. Yes, mostly printed CNC, very good, very good. If you don't know, search for Uncle Phil, this YouTube channel. It's a German guy who have built also a mostly printed CNC and showed this very detailed, and he is also cutting aluminum with this, so I think there is nothing you can't do with the mostly printed, and it is cheap to build. Right. So yes, and I'm coming to another topic. that I have planned for today. Different priorities of cockpit builders. This is also something that goes into this direction here. The question of Tony, where should I start? And from time to time, I'm also watching videos from other builders, and sometimes it surprises me where the people start to build their home cockpits. For me, I'm starting from the inside, because I think I'm sitting inside my cockpit. I don't see the outside. And I think a real pilot doesn't see the outside of his plane too, because otherwise he would have done something wrong. Yes, and other peoples are starting with a shell. And I think you have seen the Norwegian 737 project, and he has spent weeks and months building and finishing this shell until it was a complete finished shell, painted, smooth surface and everything. And then he started to build the inside of the cockpit. Yeah, I think this can be a way when you, especially when it is in a hall, a big room, where the audience comes in, and the first thing they see is the cockpit from the outside, and and they should stand there. Wow, what a cockpit! I think then it could be the way to have a full shell also. Here, but you can run into trouble when your whole shell is ready, and then something don't fit inside there, and you have fixed size parts that you have to build in there. Can be a problem, maybe. And there are people, they are starting with the electronic first. I've seen. I think, isn't this even your is this 737 Max project? I think this is your channel who started with the MIP, and the monitors are inside and running already. I'm far away from running any monitor here inside my cockpit until now. And people are starting, the monitors are running, they have nothing but this MIP, with a wooden MIP with these monitors inside. Okay, you can go this way. There are also people that say that the cockpit should be flyable all the time during the build. Can also be a priority of some people. I think when the cockpit is flyable, then you want to fly with this, and then you don't spend much time on building this. So this can be a problem here. And then you don't make so much steps ahead anymore. So for me, I think I want to finish this thing here. And when it is finished, so a cockpit is never finished, but on a point where I can say it is finished, then I will make this flyable. So different priorities of different builders. So I'm looking a little bit in the chat again. So where have we stopped? There, Haley Meg, Carl. Good to have the first time, I think, we have you here, right? What time is it there in Brunei? I think it's really difficult to find a time where we are both awake, right? Okay. Hey, Mikey, Kaki here in Brunei. Great to see you live for once due to time difference. Right, what I said. Agree with your tool selection. A hard one, but 3D printer is cool for at least prototyping. Yes. For prototyping, really cool. I have seen, I was in a discussion with one guy off Facebook. Amazing. And I have seen this window frame he has made. He has 3D printed the full size window frame. Okay, it absolutely amazing, from different parts, and these parts are I think glued and screwed together, and the gaps sanded, filled and sanded, a 3D printed window frame. Okay, you can do this, but I think it's a lot of time you have to invest there, and if something goes wrong, yeah. Okay, and for this I came out with a new idea. It's until now it's a secret idea. Maybe I can make a project out of it. This the 3D printer helping people building cockpit window frames, but I have to make some tests, and then I can come out with this idea and with a new video, maybe in the future. So yeah, 3D printing for prototyping is something I personally don't like. 3D printing, not because I think it's bad and the results are bad. They are good, and I'm using 3D printing, but I hate to wait these hours for a print to be ready, or maybe after 2 hours of printing I see, oh, this doesn't work. Okay, throw it away. Another 2 hours of printing. And yeah, this can be done when you have the time, and yeah, let it run and do other things during the print. But something that has also come with this YouTube channel is the pressure of bringing out videos. And I also still have a family. Yes, when you start a cockpit project, then sometimes you don't have a family anymore, but I still have a family. And then I have also limited time for doing this. And when I have to invest one of my evenings for printing, or maybe waiting for a print, and then it doesn't work, then all my time schedule is lost. And so the next video, the release date of the next video is in danger, and so on. This is an extremely pressure. I think you shouldn't do this when it still should be a hobby for you, but it's I want to have this quality in the videos, and not bringing out a video every few months, but every 3 weeks. I think this is a distance. I think this is a good distance from the videos where I have the time to make and design new things. Right. So, and this is the reason why mostly I don't make big prototyping things, because just I have to wait for them very long. So, Tony, I'm starting with the panels, elec, etc., and I don't have the space to build a full simulator yet. Yes, this is something you should be aware. A full-size cockpit has a size, and you should take a look into the measurements of Marcus Pilot or any other measurements of a Boeing cockpit, and then you will be surprised how much space you will need to have a full-size cockpit. Hey GS, that's me. I want to fly during the build. Indeed, it takes a long time and is not smart at all. Yes. 737 MAX project. Yes, the monitors are only temporarily installed. I have started on the annunciators and the landing gear for the MIP this week. Here, keep on the good work, and I'm watching your videos. This is also something you should do. Don't lose in too many projects in the cockpit here. For example, one panel section of the overhead, and then a little bit yoke making and the fire panel during this time. This is why I'm sticking to the lower overhead now. I hate this overhead until now, because how long have I done this overhead? I think it's now 1.5 years that I'm building this overhead. And I think after this, I want to make something else. I think I will finish the glare shield, making the EFIS panels finally and the MCP when I have a method to make these 7-segment displays work. Then I can do this. Okay. So, but stay concentrated on one topic into your simulator, and then it's finished, and you have a finished section of your cockpit. So, Stefan Klein, hello from Bayern. Congratulations for your time as flying. I'm a builder of an A320 and my project must be flyable all the time. Sometimes I need to fly. Yes. I have bought the Microsoft Flight Simulator and I'm not flying it. I want, but I always have this decision to make flying Microsoft Flight Simulator or building in your cockpit and be flyable in the future in 5 years, 7 years. Ooh. Yes. Niels VJ, hello, good evening. Stasik 86, hi, when do you plan to make throttle and autopilot? Yeah, the autopilot, yeah, that's what I said. Right now, MCP is coming. When the overhead, the lower overhead is finished, I have to stop with making overhead now when I have finished the lower overhead, and then I will make the glare shield. Yeah. Throttle will be a future project, not before the pedestal is finished. Yeah. Maybe the not the MIP first. There I have to install monitors, and they get older and older during they are built in the cockpit. Yeah, maybe pedestal, then after overhead, and then the throttle. Could be a good schedule. So, Tibor, hello to Hungary. Get to the chopper. Congratulations to your YouTube birthday, Michael. And happy landings. Thank you. So let's make the last questions here in the chat. Then I'm up to date with the chat for Hokshin Baikachem. For the LED boxes of the overhead, the only solution is to use 3D printing, I suppose. No, it isn't. I have seen someone routing them out from wood. Really, you can do this. Yes, when you have a CNC, don't want to buy a 3D printer, aren't able to make a 3D design for these annunciators, then a CNC could do it. Yes. It was made from 2 sides, I think. He used a thick wooden plate. I think it was plywood, I think, birch plywood, and then he routed out this thing, the inside with a router, and I think he turned it around and made the outside. Even my design could be done from wood. It's split into 2 parts, and then you can route them out. Absolutely possible. Paint them black, and you have annunciators from wood. Yes, it's possible. So, Helimac, great to see so many people supporting both channels here. Yeah, there are not too many sources, I think, for a detailed explanation on how to build a home cockpit. That's what I have said before. There are out there only short videos which are showing the finished results, but not how they are made. And I can only say, if you haven't done already, go to the Helimac channel. He is coming out with some really interesting and I think also new 3D printed designs for people who want to build connected yokes. And I think the pedals will be the same later in the future. Yes, a full new way for not engineering people to make such difficult things in their home cockpits. Captain Bob. I'm so great, I made it. Really excited to listen. Hello, good to have you here. So, and now I want to show you my new tool I have bought. You have seen this maybe on Instagram. I finally have done it and have bought a laser cutter. I never had thought I would do this, but it was the time. I were at a point where engraving these panels on my CNC took a lot of time. This I have seen when I made these 2 colored panels. Then I had to engrave different layers, and to make this in a good quality I have to use a small tip, small tool tip, and this take a lot of time. 1.5 hours, one engraving process to engrave one panel section, and yeah, this was just much time, and I wasn't able to go away during the machine was working because yes, it could be a failure, and the tool could be stuck anywhere, and then fire comes out and my whole house is burning down and so on. But yeah, like the 3D printing, it cost me much time, which holds me back going further in this project. So, and there were some parts that I couldn't do on my CNC. These small needles from my dual needle gauge I have showed you in the last, not a bit there before the video. You have seen my dual needle gauge video, and these small tips I couldn't do so sharp on my CNC. And so I have bought a laser. First of all, and now I can show you this here. So first of all, I thought buying this one here. This is the K40 laser you come across when you are searching for laser cutter on eBay, on Amazon, something like this. There are different types of this, all the same, I think, and for a low price. What is it? 300, 400 bucks, maybe, if it's so much. So a really affordable entrance to the laser cutting. But there are some really big disadvantages in this type. First of all, the size. The size is 20. The cutting, the working area is 20 by 30 centimeters, I think. This is enough for making a single panel section of the overhead, for example. Yes, this is enough. But I have, and this is also a decision for me, I have thought a little bit further to the future. Maybe I want to sell panels, then I can cut some more at the same time when I have a bigger working area, and which will be my biggest parts. And there I thought to the MIP, and there are parts that are 45 by, not 50, but 30, I think, 30 by 45. Something like this, big, and this can't be done in this year. So I had to come out with other solutions to cut these panels. So, it's really cheap produced. Then you have maybe a bad aligned laser bed, which will lead you into trouble. Your results won't be as good as you supposed it to be. And another thing, the height, the Z-axis. There isn't a Z-axis in this laser cutter here, and you need to change the Z height from time to time when you have a bigger working piece that you want to engrave or cut. I haven't done already a laser video. I will go into this in detail in a laser video. But for those of you who know already something about laser cutting, you have a focus point where the surface of your working piece has to be. And this is mostly the top of your working piece. And when it is bigger, you aren't able to get it into the focal length area. So then I would have started, developing something here that I can have a movable Z-bed. There are some developers that sell these parts. So a lot of work that I would have to invest here to make this laser cutter nearly into this area where I needed it. So I haven't done this by here. I thought of this is a 40 watt laser. I thought of a 50 watt laser. This is the first size. When you look on eBay, this has a movable Z-axis. And then I watched over to the 60 watt because the price was near the same. So I thought, why should I buy a 50 watt when I can get a 60 watt? And then finally I came across the 80 watt laser. Here, the 80 watt laser with a working area of 50 by 70 centimeters. Also to a price, a little bit higher than the K40, of course. But for a tool this size, this was okay. Some of the parts weren't made as good as I wanted them to be. This small security switch here was already broken when it came here, and I changed the exhaust fan because this is very loud, and I changed it to a more quiet one. I upgraded the mirrors of this laser to have a laser point where the laser will cut later. So some things I will come into details in the laser video. Yes, that's it. And the difference of the 60 watt and 80 watt laser, they have the same working size here. It's only that they have a bigger tube. And here the 80 watt laser has a metal box because the tube comes out of the side. That's all. Here, this is something I have bought here now. So, and with this laser cutter, it took me nearly 2 weeks before I started it. The first time, all the weeks before, I was upgrading and checking if everything is right and then all the mirrors are aligned. So don't come to the idea that you can buy this laser cutter, put in the plug, and you can cut your panels. No way. You have to align all the mirrors right. There you have to invest time. You have to know how to do this, and the extraction of the smoke is a very, very important topic when you are buying a laser. You can't imagine how much smoke comes out when you are cutting wood, for example, or acrylic. And I always see those desktop lasers that aren't even enclosed, and they are sold for some bucks as a laser engraver on eBay. And I always think, where is this smoke going? There must be some extraction. You can't use this laser in your room. This should be clear. You have to make you have to take into consideration where you should go with all this dust. And so I have the possibility to have it down in my basement near a window, and then I have built from OSB. So OBS from OSB wood, a plate that I can put into the window, and the exhaust, what is it? The tube comes in there, and the smoke can be blown out. I have a filter between there so that not all the smoke comes unfiltered out there. But without this, I wouldn't never run this in the basement. So this should be clear. That should be clear here. But now cutting out panels is a really fast business. Engraving is so much faster. So I think when I have needed before 20-25 minutes to cut out a panel, now I can do this in 5 minutes. And this has really increased my speed of producing parts, and I'm able to produce very small parts. This was really funny that I have a 50 by 70 centimeter working area. And what have I done first? I have made these small 1 centimeter big gears and these needles here, but here's made it. So this was the topic, the story behind my new laser tool. Let's have a look into the chat again. So what have we done? The choice of the order of build also depends on what you like the most in the cockpit building. I think there are some of us, not meaning in us chat, that like to build more than flying. Yes, I think me too. And otherwise, I would spend more time in front of the Microsoft Flight Simulator instead of on soldering wires to my overhead. Yes, and I think cockpit building is the new model train building. I have said something like this before in other streams. Before we had these model train builders building fascinating landscapes and all this, and they don't drive the train through these landscapes, but they are building and building. And I think this is something very similar to the cockpit building scene. So I have been using Flight Sim since about 3 decades now. For me, it's all about realism. Yeah. By the way, the first flight simulator I have flown on, I don't know if this is pronounced right, the old computer, the 386, I think, with this 20 megabyte of hard disk drive in there. And the flight simulator was version, I don't know, what is it, 3 point or 4 point something. And I've flown this with this built-in inside PC speaker. No, you know what I mean. And then came the moment where I saw a plane flying before. They already had AI traffic. And I followed this plane in my Cessna, and then the plane landed on another airport, and I thought, wow, another airport! You can go from one point to another here in the flight simulator. And then came the flight simulator. I think it was 5.1. This was the first simulator version where the Earth was round and you could fly around the world. And I have bought one aeronautical chart from the bookstore in the city, and I learned in the book about how to navigate with this VOR navigation. And then I made my first flight from one airport to another using VOR navigation, and I was proud like anything that I have made it from one airport to another. And that, I think, this was a moment that catched me into this flight simulation. Planning a flight, flying it, and you have a successful flight from one airport to another. This is something no one can understand who haven't flown himself. Here. So that's why I started the cockpit build. To be honest, I had the money, I would be If I had the money, I would be a complete setup. That's why I admire guys like you and Carl in this hobby. I use your plans and videos as a base for my own. Yes, use a base use it as a base and yeah, modify it to your needs. And or by the way, if you have the money, to all those of you who have the money, open cockpits 37,000 and you have your full setup there, everything is in what you need. Or if you want to go to the higher class, 180, 190,000 bucks, and you have your even your surround screen, curved screen in it, and they also build it up for you. Yeah, I have seen those videos, really cool. So Helimac, Mikey, the forward overhead is a massive project. It's such a huge achievement to complete. Yeah, if I had known this before. Yeah, and I was stopped by this how is it called, PCB for the electronic panel that cost me some months until I switched over to a next panel, because I wasn't able to make a working PCB for the 7-segment displays until now. I haven't given up. I don't give up. I can produce my own PCB. I know they can be produced cheap, but also prototyping. This is also a prototyping topic. I don't want to wait again 2 weeks for a PCB to be produced. I want to be able to produce it within 1 or 2 days, and then I have the result and the answer to my question: will it work or will it not work? So, and I won't give up. I will make my own PCB, and I hope the laser will help me this time. There are some ideas in my head, but I have to build something before. Yeah. So 737 MAX project. Mikey, I have a K40 laser engraver and I'm thinking ahead about the forward overhead and the white panels and how to backlight them. Whoa! That's like we have spoken about it, but this leads me to another topic here. The pneumatic panel. New video tomorrow from me. The pneumatic panel. You have those of you who are following me on Instagram have seen this already. I have a new method for producing these 2-colored panels. This will be explained in the video in detail, but now I can give you a small preview of this. Also, you have seen the method on Instagram before. This is this is another version of this pneumatic panel. I head over and use it as a test piece. With these other panels, there was always the problem that some light shines through this black color. So why? Because the back color is wax. I have engraved the outside around these letters and filled this with wax up to the top of the letters. And so the tip of the letters was still backlightable and everything around it was black. So the theory. But this wax wasn't made to cover those large areas of several millimeters. It's made to fill only small engravings. When you engrave text into something, wood, metal, or something like this, then this is the wax is for. Like you have seen when I have made my blue annunciators, where I use a white wax, or in the glare wings, where I use also the white and the black wax to fill the letters. This is the purpose where the wax is for, but not for covering these spaces inside the letter C, for example, or around this. So I came across a new method, and this was, so can we show it? Yeah. These is white acrylic, painted black, and engraved. Nothing fancy about it. But here, this is the back side, this is the front side. They are both white. Okay. But here I have made some cutouts now. And these cutouts are a little bit smaller than this cutout here. And so I come out with a really nice tight fit. And I can push it. Is it the right? It's the right one, huh? It's the left one. Okay, let's do it right. They have both the same size, but just for you, I push it in. You can hear this maybe. And here we have a two-colored panel. And this is also something in this quality you can only do with a laser cutter. You could do it also with a CNC, maybe, yes, but you would come out with rounded edges on the inside. If this is okay for you, then you could use it, but better and faster is a laser cutter. So, and you come out with a two-colored panel, and the covering of the light is really cool because it is painted black. This works. It's the same method I'm using for all my annunciators. So this method will be explained, and also the technique behind there, how a laser is working, why this is working with a laser, and so on, will all be explained in the video tomorrow. Don't miss it. Watch it. So, some other questions in the chat. I think we will be more than the hour today. We have a really active chat today. Manuel Resende, hello from Portugal. Hello back to Portugal. So, what have we there? Oh. So, by color. Stefan Klein, hello. There's a special, it's in German here, a special from the Make. It's a paper in a magazine in Germany about the K40 laser and how to make him more secure. Yeah. So when you buy a laser, it's not only the K40. I had to make some improvements on my 80-watt laser too. You should know where something can be wrong. Is it grounded correct, for example, something like this. So Captain Bob, to a new cockpit builder, would a laser cutter or CNC mill be more helpful? Sure. I've answered this question before. Definitely go for a CNC. I think again, for me, who is also making woodworking, a CNC is a more usable tool, because with a laser I have some restriction how thick can the material be that I can cut. For example, when I cut thick wood, then now I'm cutting wood I have cut up to 5 millimeters, I think. It can be more, but it's always the decision between burning the wood and cutting in deep. I can give more power, but then I have to go faster to not burning the wood. But if I go faster with more power, I can't cut deep enough. I have to make several passes. This is something you have to take into consideration here. Yeah, and something a laser can't do is engrave something to a special depth. And this is something I need when I install my needles onto this acrylic rod. I want to cut the shape of the acrylic rod into the needle exactly 1 millimeter deep. And this is something the laser can't do. And the bottom isn't flat when a laser is doing it. It's a little bit, the laser beam is going through there and it's not flat. But this is something you can achieve with a CNC. So definitely when you have to make the decision between a laser and the CNC, go for a CNC. Yep. And a CNC is something you don't need a dust extraction for. There your shop vac will be good enough. So, Helimac, hey GES, yes, not going yet, and hello, always great to hear other builders' opinions. Yeah, don't always look to your method. Look out on YouTube, on the web for other ideas. Yeah, something. Sometimes people are asking, why don't you use these parts? They are already finished. Yes, but a little bit difficult again for me. I have a YouTube channel. I have to show also something new. I can't get any ready finished designs from another one and build them just. This is nothing new. So I always try to come out with some other ideas too, and people can choose which could be work for them the best. So Stefan Klein, yeah, you need about 200 euro to make the K40 safe. Yeah, yes, that can be if you want, and if you want to make it usable, even more for the movable Z-axis, for example. Yeah, you have to invest more money, and then you are again, when you have to invest so much money on top, then you should go maybe from the start to a little bigger model then. So Marcus, hello Michael, hope you are well. I'll be starting my home cockpit project tomorrow, so all of your videos are very useful. Thanks for the content. Why not starting today? Okay, starting tomorrow, then go for it. This is something also as said as this Corona time is. It is also a good time for all those of you who have to sit at home and build their home cockpits. So many people have downloaded the plans, and I think we will see many new cockpits coming out in the future. Helimac, always wanted a laser, as you know. But there's no chance while I'm in here. That looks like an awesome machine, but I would have never guessed you needed upgrades straight away. Yep. They are produced very cheap. They are really cheap, and if you want to make it really good usable, so that it's easy to use it, so that it's fun to use it, then you should invest into some upgrades. Even this this, how is it called, half mirror, so a mirror, 40-degree mirror that lets the laser beam through, but there's also a laser pointer on this side which is reflected, so the laser pointer, which shows the future cutting of your laser, takes the same way of the laser beam and can be projected onto your working surface. And this is something which makes aligning pieces to the laser much more easier, which wouldn't be possible if in the standard version of this laser, for example. So Tony Dog Station, can it cut and engrave on the same process, unlike the CNC where you have to change the bit? Not at the same process. In the program I'm using, you are making several power settings, it's called. And first of all, I'm making the engraving, so it engraves all the letters. For example, for me with 15%, and the speed is what have I for a speed, 250 millimeter a second. And after that there comes the next setting, which is the cutout of the panel. No, first comes the cutout of all these holes. Here where have we the panel? So first is the cutout of all these holes there, and then okay, let's explain my steps to produce a panel. I would never cut out and engrave a panel in the same time. because then I would come out with the white edges. When I cut this out from white acrylic, maybe it's a black panel, then you would see it better. Yeah, you can see this in the inside here. I come out with white edges. Right? Come, focus. No? White edges. That would be engraved panel, white edges. This is something I don't want to have, because the light would shine out on the sides. And so I lay down the piece of acrylic, make every cut out. This is the first thing. Then cut the outside out. Take this piece out, paint it from all sides. So that the paint is also not from the back side, of course, but from the outside, so that no light will come through there. And then comes something a laser can't do, and this is aligning pieces on a CNC. You can touch these edges with a touch plate, or when it's from aluminum, you can touch it itself. But to measure in how the piece is aligned, this is something you can't do with a laser. So with a laser, you have to draw the outside on some pieces of scrap wood, for example, and then you can align this on top of this, and then I make the engraving into a normal panel. This isn't a normal panel, no? But a normal panel would be engraved after this. Yeah, and this is something what costs also time. I hate lacquering these things because I'm painting 3 to 5 minutes, and then I have to clean 15 minutes my painting pistol or more, and then I have to wait overnight for the lacquer to dry, and then finally I can engrave the panel. Yeah. So, any more? Where have we stopped with the questions? Niels VG. Helimac, I guess this is a problem with these more or less cheap China stuff. Was the same with my 3D printer, had to put so much work in it to get it going. Yeah, same problem with printers. People are printing parts for them. Hey G, having space indeed is also a major factor in building. I live in the Netherlands and have to build outside, and be careful not to build too large segments. Yeah. When you have finished your parts for the home cockpit, you aren't able to get them back into your house. Yeah. Tony Dog Station, that's me. Hence the username. Okay, I'm doing both trains and planes. Yeah, the model train builders. I'm looking on to model trains from time to time. My father had one in the past year, but I'm not into this topic because I think. Don't get me wrong, it's a little bit boring later to play with this. Maybe you don't play with this, you only build this, but you can only drive one segment, and in a flight simulator you can fly wherever you want, as long as you stay on Earth. No? So Niels VG, hope you don't need a builder permit when you build outside. Yeah. So, Helimac, Mikey, as I say to other builders, never give up, improvise, adapt, and overcome. It sucks when you get in a rut or a never-ending build, but it's always great when you achieve. Yep. Right, nothing more to say to this. News, hello, good to have you here in the chat. So, Hossein Bakerton, I'm a doctor, and in this corona time I work harder and extra time in the hospital. Yep, that's the bad side of this. Some want to work and can't, others have to work. Everything. I read something a little bit off topic in our local newspaper here, where a woman wrote about their family. Everyone is becoming it's becoming sad already after the breakfast. All go into their edges of the house, doing school and home office and so on. And the only one who can make something good of this situation is a dog, because everyone is taking him out every day, several times for a walk, because this is the only thing you can do here right now. So yeah. So Revo Truck Simulator, good to have you here. The only one truck driver watching simulator videos. Good afternoon. So let's come to another topic. If you have other questions, just put them in the chat. So, and I come to a question that comes several times under my videos. I'm a new builder, and where should I start building my simulator? I think we have a little bit scratched this topic before. Where should I start building my simulator? What would you say? Where should he start building his simulator? I think I can't tell him this right from the start, because I need more information from him. What simulator do you want to build? Is it a general aviation? Is it an airliner? Do you want to have a full-size cockpit on or only some parts on your desk? And this is something you should take into consideration. I think sometimes people just going to this topic, oh, a simulator, that would be fun. So where should I start? Guys, you should think a little bit yourself, and I think all of those here are a little bit further than those guys already. You have read or watched something about these topics, but some people are really is this naive to say? I don't know. When it comes to this topic, I want to build a simulator. Let's start, and I should tell them where to start. This is really difficult sometimes, but I try to keep polite and give good advices on how he should order the thoughts to start this project. No? Think about, what do you want to have later? Do you have the room? How much money do you want to invest? What tools do you have? This all comes together and helps you where you should start. Even your electronic knowledge. If you don't have much electronic knowledge, I would say you shouldn't start with the MCP. That's you should start with something else. Making some glare wings wouldn't be the right if you don't want to have a full-size cockpit. maybe make a holder for a monitor, like a touch screen. That would be, make a holder for a touch screen monitor which simulates an overhead. This would be something for a beginning desktop pilot, and then he could think about if this should go further. Mm-hmm. So another question that comes from time to time: are you selling panels? Generally not. No. Because why don't I sell panels? First of all, I can produce the panels to prices that you can get from bigger manufacturers, Open Cockpits, for example. And my panels only fit, for example, my overhead panel sections only fit into my overhead frame. And I think I can produce panels in the future. Maybe I don't think the market is big. There are other big players better to produce these, but I think there are other things like maybe seats seats for a good price. That where are some areas where I could get in, maybe just thinking wild. But I think I will go to this into this segment later, just if anyone wants it. But first I have to redesign the overhead panel sections so that it fits into overhead frames of other manufacturers. I think Open Cockpit's Flightdeck solutions are in this segment and build panels of real sizes, I could think, and it should you should use these inch measurements for these DSAS fasteners to get right measurements of the panels. And I think when I have done this, then I can talk about or think about this topic here. Yeah, but first I think this is my first big test of building an overhead panel, and then after this I can think about making commercial panels. So, Helly Mac, Mikey, have you tried MSFS 2020 with Mobi yet? No, not yet. I want to do it. You have done this already? I want to make a video out of this Mobi ProSim, and ProSim also is now compatible with the new Microsoft Flight Simulator. By the way, I have read it isn't called officially MSFS 2020. It's just called Microsoft Flight Simulator. But it's just a side. So, but yes, Captain Bob already tried here, no? FS 2020 with MobiFlight. I think I will do this in the future. I wanted to have finished this pneumatic panel here first. It is now finished, and now I will try the whole package. ProSim, Microsoft Flight Simulator, MobiFlight. Yeah. But I can't fly it with my cockpit. That's so sad. So, Alex the Aviator. Wow. Mikey, Bob, and Haley Mac are in the stream. Impressive. Yeah. I already thought about this. Haley Mac, is it still there at Brunei that you can't haven't the internet connection, that you can't make live streams in affordable quality? It doesn't need to be high resolution, but so that we can talk with each other. That would be fun. 3-person live stream, maybe. We have to talk about this again. We have done this already, but I think there was the internet quality was the bottleneck. But yeah, I don't know if this is doable. Then we can make something like this. So, what have we here in the chat? Hey G, what are your plans regarding cockpit seats? Oh yeah, cockpit seats. A topic in the far future. There is this topic. There is this seat everyone is building, I think. You know this design. Maybe if you have searched for cockpit seats DIY, then you have seen this design. I have thought about. I don't want to build this one to one. I want to come out with something more excited. Maybe with the possibility of adjusting the height. And I think most of the seats aren't height adjustable. Yeah, because you and most cockpit builders don't need height adjustable seats, because you are the only one most of the time sitting in this cockpit. So why would you need to adjust the height of your seat? But I have seen some designs that have this, and also this the armrest to first of all to make this movable up and to bring it behind the back lean, to bring this behind. This should be also in the seat. So this will be a big topic, designing this seat, yeah. But in the far future, after the finished overhead, after the finished pedestal, yeah, and the floor. When I am doing the seats, then the next video would be the J-rail construction, and therefore you need the floor. And before I will build the floor, I will make the dual linked yokes. I think, because then I know how the floor has to be built, because there have to be some mechanic in there. Yeah, you see, this is my thinking all the time. What can I build next? I have to build this, but to build this, I have to build this before to know how this can be done. Terrible. Terrible. So, so what have we here in the chat? Tibor, bye. Thanks for all. Good night. Good night, Tibor. That's a coincidence you're thinking about seats. Yep. So, and Captain Bob, yeah, FS 2020 with MobiFlight is fun. I hope so. Maybe, yeah, the view should be good. Alex the Aviator, a lot to discuss in a YouTube chat box, but interfacing was a complete flop. Interfacing? With what? In the chat? What do you mean? Steve R, hello from France, and thanks for all your videos. Hello back, and hello to France. When you are from France, do you know the, what is this? The pilot, how is it called? This French website or forum, cockpit pilot? Is it? Is this something like this? Some a French forum who are linking my videos to. Yeah, from time to time I came over this when I'm looking the YouTube statistics and to look where do my views come from. Yeah. Helimac live stream. I have 0.5 MB broadband. I think that's old school dial up. Yay. Yes, I think you have written this before. Even the postal system isn't the best at your. Keep up. As long as the filament is coming, then you can work. So, Pascal spotting videos. Helimac, how long does it take to upload a video? Yeah. He has written this about hours a day, 24 hours uploading a video. I can't imagine. This must be terrible. And by the way, and this is something, internet. You should think in Germany we would have good internet, but we are way back in these techniques. I have seen I think yesterday it was a live stream of Captain Bob making this this update, 4 GB of the Microsoft Flight Simulator, and I thought, okay, he has to do an update. That was it with flying here, and then the status bar flies through the monitor. I couldn't think how fast internet you have there. So, Helimac Heiji, again, it's about a week min with no power cuts, or it's start again. A week to upload a video. Ooh. Does YouTube has something to continue that? Can you? Unbelievable. Okay. So, yeah, at least the weather is a lot better over there building outside. Yeah, that's it, right. Who can stand out there and build the cockpit in outside under the free sky. Yeah. Okay. So, do I have a topic here again? Let's come over here to some next things I will build. Do I have this here? I hope. I have to look there. Do I have this here? Yeah. I will have a look here to the image where I'm looking most of the time. Here we have it. So this is the image where I get my ideas from. So what will be the next parts and next videos you have you can watch? So as I said, tomorrow pneumatic panel is ready. The dual needle gauge was already a video, so I don't go into this in detail again. I just install it and see it running. But you will learn about this technique here to make these two colored panels. And I'm already planning this center panel here, this long one. And this will be then the next video. If I don't have enough material for a cockpit show, maybe a cockpit show before. I think there are some people send me photos. By the way, when you are building a cockpit or have done something really great, a yoke, for example, a cool overhead, something like this. It doesn't even need to be a 737. We have a lot of cool builders from the Airbus scene. Just send me the pictures, cockpitshow@mikey'sflightdeck.de, and I will present them here to the audience. So that's just for this. The center panel, and then after this I will go to this section down here. I think until now panel gauge making isn't too complicated anymore, and I can do this here. I don't think if I will make a video of this flight recorder, because it's just a dummy and it's nothing more than a panel and some dummy plug holes here. I don't think I make a video about this. But this here, and then I'm thinking, during this time, I try to make the PCB for this electronic panel. If I can do this and I finally make this, then I will make the video about this electronic panel, and this will be completely different than all my other videos because the material is from April, May last year, and there were so many ways I have to try this, so it can't be shown in one linear way, and this will be completely different. I think I have to make the video like I'm telling a story, and so I have to try it making an electronic panel. Look what I have come on my first steps, and I'm showing the footage of this. Oh, and then what the first mistake, but I have made this in another way, and look at this, something like this. So it will be completely different. And when I know how to make these 7 segments work, then I can make this here. Or if this doesn't work and I haven't reached the goal to make the PCB, then I will make the light panel first with some ideas for these switches. I won't make these switches with the solenoid magnets. I want to. This method is cool. No question. This is a cool method, and the force bringing the switch back, I think comes near the original one. I want to build something more easy for DIY people that don't make fancy 3D printed designs. I have something in mind, and I've seen some solutions for this with something with a servo motor. We will see. Something easy. And yeah, okay, that's, yeah. And then I have a finished overhead, I think. Yeah. And for the center panel, I will try to install the dimmers for the backlighting also. I have bought these here, and I have opened it already. And yeah, this is all just when you ever have asked yourself, what is inside this box here? This, yeah, it is keyed out. Okay, green is keyed out, but no, this is a connector that is keyed out here, and a potentiometer, and yeah, a small PCB for this dimmer here. This is all that is inside this plastic box. So I will install these dimmers and maybe connect all the LED of backlighting of the overhead. Yeah, this is something for the future. So, Pascal Spotting Videos, can you please talk a little bit about painting acrylic? Are there any colors which you can't use? You should not. Yeah, you and do you have to sand the acrylic before painting? So, concerning the colors, I haven't tested too much different colors. I haven't come across a color that didn't work, but I have only tested acrylic paint, and I used these. Is it called Vallejo? These airbrush paints for these small airbrush pistols. And yeah, you have to sand the acrylic before. I'm using 400 or 600 grit sanding paper before over all the acrylic, and then wash it. I wash it under water to get all the dust and everything away. And maybe there is, I would always wash it with soapy water, because there can be some protective films on it. And I'm not talking about this plastic sheet that is protecting it from scratching, from scratches. So a protective film can be on there, wash it. But then this should work, and has worked for me. I think it's not industrial standard, so you can't, it isn't protective against scratches, and even the real panels aren't. When you look at panels of really used Boeing cockpits or other cockpits of planes, then you can see the places where you grab very often with your fingers, then the paint goes off. It's absolutely normal, but you should really handle them with care. So I sand them, wash them, paint them, then I do the engraving, and after the engraving I cover them with clear acrylic varnish. That's all. And then I think this thing is protected, and with the clear varnish you can also wipe over with a little bit of water. Yeah, not full water, you know what I mean. No? Close with a little bit of water. Wet, that's the word I'm searching for, a wet cloth, and make it clean from time to time. This is possible then. Yo, 737 Max project. Have you mastered painting the panels? I keep getting small air pockets and bubbles. Yeah, from time to time. I'm not a professional painter, so that's first. Most of the time I don't know what I'm doing there. I'm looking, just if you are asking, I'm looking here because my overhead is standing right behind, beside me, and I'm looking here. Yeah, from it depends on the pistol you use, I think. when you use cheap pistons which bring very much air to the out there, then I think air bubbles can come more. I'm using the so-called low volume. Maybe how is this called? LVLP, low volume, low pressure. So low volume, low pressure pistol, and this needs not much of pressure, 0.1 bar. I don't know what is this in hectopascal, no? 0.1 bar here in Germany. Yeah, and this paints it really well. I have used, you have seen me in my old videos from the sidewall. I'm using another thing. It's like you it comes with something like a vacuum, a shop vac, something like this, but in the like a blower. This puts out very much paint, and I ran into some problems sometimes that drips of color appeared. Maybe it's just my fault that I have let too much color coming out. Were my first tries with a painting pistol. But when I have changed to this other pistol, there were less air bubbles. They are still air bubbles. I don't not really know how they come, how they appear, but 1 or 2 maybe bubbles per panel section, not more, and really small. Sometimes they come, there are even no bubbles. Yeah, and something I have to fight even more with is dust. I have a separate room for painting, and I try to keep the dust out of this room because it is directly a room of my shop in the basement. And when you have flying particles around, or these small particles from cloth, which are laying on the floor, and then you can come over with your pistol, which blows up all these particles, then they fall back down and apply on your lacquer. And this is something that happens often to me. I don't think that it is really critical if I would sell these panels. This is another topic. Then I had to improve this technique, and I have to build something that really all the dust keeps out, something like this. But now, for me, and in the later cockpit, when you are sitting most of the time in a dark twilight, then you won't see this. And even if the panel is backlighted, then you won't see any air bubbles as long as they are small. Okay, I think this is for this painting topic. Captain Bob, I forgot to say happy birthday, Mikey's Flightdeck. Oh, thank you. You had your second birthday, I think, these days. Tony Doc Station. I'm in the process of casting my own knobs with silicone and resin based on your video on this. The spray filler is amazing. True. You can't expect any magic from this filler, because this filler really applies a thin coat. It comes from a spray can, so the thickness of the coat is very thin, and it doesn't even cover fully the lines of 3D printing. Sure, but I'm really I have used for my last knobs this acrylic one. I've used several times to cover it and sand it down then, and this works good. And after this I apply the spray filler. This works also good. Yeah, but making knobs from resin, this is the way if you haven't watched already, watch my knob making video where I go into detail with everything of this. knobs from 3D mostly aren't filled 100%, so drilling holes in it is sometimes really difficult, and the resin casted knob is solid, and this is a big advantage of this method. Hey G, you also see LCD screens instead of segment digits. Yep, also something. You can do this. I think for me that this wouldn't be the look I want to achieve, but you can do this, right? So the light scriber, hello, good to have you here. Happy birthday, thank you for all your advice, best wishes. Thanks back, thanks for watching. Tony Dogs, yes, I'm on code 3 at the moment. Sending it before and has helped, yeah. I may send you some photos of the stages if you're interested. Always, as long as you also send the picture of the finished project, I can show this in the cockpit show. So, I think I have said everything I have planned for today. We have now 1.5 hours on the clock. I think everything is shown, huh? Right? I'm just thinking here. Here, dimmer next. I think it is clear. Next, what comes in the future, the next panel section which will come. Don't forget to send me pictures if you have something to show to the community. Then send pictures of your builds to cockpitshow@mikey'sflightdeck.de, and I can make some content out of it to show it to you every time. Yes, and my new video comes out tomorrow, so 12 o'clock local time here. What is it? I think 11 o'clock UTC. Yep, the new video comes out. Watch it and learn how to make this pneumatic panel. So then we are here at the end of this stream. Thank you all for being here this evening, or what time ever it is at your place. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting me during these years of Mikey's Flight Deck, and I can promise that I will keep on working here as long as I have the strength to do it, and I hope we all can see the finished product one time, and we all will be there when I make the first flight in my full-size cockpit in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2027 or something like this. So, hey G, thanks Michael, enjoyed the stream, have a nice weekend. Yeah, Captain Bob, thank you, and again, Haley Mac, good that you were here, we spoke for the first time. Thank you all for being here, have a nice weekend, and I hope we'll see us soon back on the flight deck.